What if I told you there's an entire universe hidden inside a phone booth, a bakery floating in a snow globe, or a wizard's tower swirling above the clouds? Sounds unreal, right?
What?
Well, today you're about to see all that and more. We're diving into 40 jaw-dropping diorama worlds, each one handcrafted with stunning visual styles, from Ghibli vibes to neon cyberpunk, claymation charm to retro sci-fi. And we're not just listing them. You're going to feel like you're in them. We're taking a smooth, continuous ride through every tiny world, every magical corner, every futuristic hideaway. If you're creative, a dreamer, or just obsessed with mind-blowing visuals, this is your moment. Let's shrink down and explore. Let's start our journey in the kind of place you think you know, your city. But this version, it's more magical than real life ever dares to be. Our first steps take us to a rainy London street, where a red phone booth glows from the inside. Peek through its fogged-up glass, and you'll see it's no ordinary booth. It's a fully functional miniature bookstore. Books pile to the ceiling, fairy lights wrap around the shelves, and it radiates the warm glow of a place you could disappear into for hours. We lift off into a rooftop garden, a hidden oasis blooming above gray concrete. The style here is straight from a Ghibli film. Soft greens, whimsical textures, and an undeniable coziness. Basil in one pot, a teacup on the ledge, and the hum of the city far below. A tight alley winds below us, and laundry lines crisscross like tightropes. In this watercolor world, children skip rope while a cat watches from a windowsill. The textures are soft, almost dreamlike. We move on to a parking lot transformed into a glowing night market. Cyberpunk colors splash across food stalls and vintage cars. Neon signs flicker in pinks, blues, and electric greens. It feels alive, even in miniature. Our final stop is the most hidden, a cafe tucked behind a swinging bookshelf. Step in and gears hiss. Espresso machines steam and the whole room ticks with brass and wonder. Welcome to the steampunk sanctuary of the city. We drift now from the city into lands that only exist in dreams and in dioramas. Above the clouds floats a wizard's tower. It's twisted tall and filled with arcane glass. Spellbooks orbit the spire, bound by unseen magic. The visual style here is fantasy concept art, rich in texture and mystery. Beneath it, a tree-shaded clearing opens into an elven market. You can almost hear the lutes and chatter. Wooden booths offer glowing herbs, tiny fruits, and enchanted trinkets. The illustration feels pulled from a storybook, every line hand-drawn. Next up, a mushroom village. Claymation brings it to life. Chunky textures, rounded caps, and homes carved into stems. You expect the characters here to move in stop motion, every blink and wobble adding charm. We creep into a warm nursery, lit by candlelight. But these aren't babies. They're dragons, curled into nests of golden hay. The brushstrokes of this oil-painted world feel ancient, like something you'd find in a wizard's archive. Our last stop is inside a giant pumpkin. The door creaks open into a Gothic kitchen straight out of a Tim Burton film. Crooked shelves, dangling jars, and shadows that move when you're not looking. Now we jump light years ahead, into the future. Our first stop is calm, almost too calm. A space station bedroom spins in zero gravity, its circular window framing Saturn. Objects float lazily, a pen, a steaming mug, a digital photo hovering by a magnet. Drop down into the city streets of a cyber future. Here, a street vendor grills neon noodles under a purple sky. The scene is pure Blade Runner, steam, shadows, and synthesized sound filling the air. Now we land on Mars. A 1950s-style diner sits alone in the dust. Red leather booths, chrome counters, and a jukebox tuned to Earth classics. The retro-futurist style makes it feel both nostalgic and alien. Next, the robot repair shop. It's Pixar-inspired, full of charm, color, and lovable machines. Sparks fly as tiny bots fix each other, like a mechanic garage run by Wally's cousins. Last, We dive underwater to a glowing biopunk city. Coral towers pulse with light. Submarines slide through glowing tunnels. It's eerie, beautiful, and completely alive. Let's breathe. The future fades behind us, and nature takes the lead. First, we look inside a light bulb, but instead of wires, we see trees, rivers, and a complete micro-ecosystem. It glows from within, like a tiny earth bottled up and dreaming. We pass through a waterfall and find a fairy pond lit in pastel pink and blue. Dragonflies leave trails of glitter, and every ripple glows. The art style feels like a children's book come to life. Then a massive tree trunk reveals a vertical village. Homes are carved into bark, stairs spiral upward, and moss grows on everything. It's like a terrarium that tells stories. High in the mountains, a hidden hot spring steams in the cold. Woodblock art makes the scene serene, snowy, and still. You almost hear the wind brushing pine. Finally, inside a honeycomb hive, bees zoom through their golden city. Geometric precision, hexagon highways, a whole society buzzing in golden rhythm. From the forest to the funhouse. Welcome to a world run by animals and bursting with personality. Perched high in a tree, a cat cafe bustles with feline baristas. Hammocks swing between branches, tiny tables dot the platforms, and everyone purrs in contentment. Cottagecore meets illustration here, soft, dreamy, and warm. Below, a hamster arcade flashes with neon lights. Little paws press buttons, machines light up, and prizes tumble out. The kawaii pop art style makes it bright, bouncy, and delightfully absurd. Down the trail, a post office is built from bark and leaves. Snails slide from counter to counter with tiny mailbags. Folk collage art gives the scene a nostalgic feel, like a bedtime story. Near the pond, frogs run a sushi bar. Calm music plays. The design is minimalist, zen, ink on paper. Slices of sashimi float by on lily pads. And in the woods at night, owls teach beneath the stars. Their classroom glows with celestial watercolors. A chalkboard hovers, the sky listens. Hope you're hungry, because next, we enter the most delicious dioramas of all. We roll into a candy-colored city made entirely of dessert. Cupcake houses, gumdrop trees, and licorice lamp posts line the streets. Candy cars zip past frosting-covered roundabouts. It's Candyland come to life. A bento lunch world opens up. Rice balls smile from windows, tofu buildings stand firm, and vegetables are arranged like art. The anime-style detail here makes every food item look too perfect to eat. Then, toast becomes a town. An egg yolk glows like the sun. Butter paths lead to jam rivers. It's warm, homey, and entirely edible. Inside a porcelain teacup, a party is in full swing. Victorian miniatures serve pastries beside tiny floral couches. Everything is crafted with dollhouse precision. Finally, we blast off to Pizza Planet. Mushroom domes, pepperoni towers, and cheese-covered cars. The whole thing is part comic book, part midnight craving. Time travel, in miniature. A samurai village comes alive during spring. Cherry blossoms rain down as villagers walk cobblestone paths. The scene is painted like a ukiyo-e print. In ancient Egypt, papyrus lines the walls of a candlelit room. Scrolls sit neatly on sandstone shelves. Every corner is illustrated like it belongs on a scroll. We arrive at a Greek agra. Marble columns tower over philosophers mid-debate. The classical marble relief style freezes them in time. Up in the north, a Viking dock bustles with activity. Boats are carved with runes. Snow falls in slow motion. The scene feels carved from Nordic lore. Back in the Philippines, an old Manila street bustles with life. A tranvia hums along. Sepia tones and nostalgic textures capture a moment from history. And somewhere in the 1940s Europe, a radio room buzzes with secrets. The scene is drawn like a war poster, all urgency, angles, and soft shadows. These final worlds break the fourth wall. They don't just show a place, They show the mind behind it. First, we're on an artist's desk, but the erasers are mountains. Paint spills are lakes. The whole thing is animated in stop motion, like a diorama of creativity itself. Inside a camera, tiny rooms live within the lens, streets run along gears. It's surreal photorealism, strange, yet precise. A toy shelf comes to life. Dolls, action figures, and board game pieces all form a society after hours. The style mimics retro catalogs, complete with faded edges. Beneath a bed, monsters run a glowing neon town. It's spooky and sweet, all stitched shadows and glowing teeth. Inside a seashell, a library spirals inward. The walls are lined with ink illustrations, and the pages feel wet with sea spray. A snow globe spins. Inside, a bakery flickers with cozy light. Pastries warm the windows. Outside, flurries swirl. Our last stop. A turntable spins, and on it, a tiny city dances to the rhythm of vinyl. Album art becomes architecture. Music becomes home. And there you have it. 40 tiny worlds. Each a story, each a spark. From cozy rooftops to underwater cities, candy streets to ancient cultures, each diorama reminds us that even the smallest scene can hold infinite wonder. So if you found even one world today that made your imagination light up, like, subscribe, and drop your favorite in the comments. Because creativity isn't just about thinking big, it's about noticing the little things. See you in the next adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more exciting updates.